Um, yeah, excited to get back here to Fort Worth and get to work, and looking forward playing against a really good Georgia team on Monday night. I think that's the one thing in our profession now that if you can do anything the way it works these days is you want to try to play on Monday night, and we're getting a chance to do that. So excited for our players, and I think it's a great opportunity for TCU and our football program and everything associated with it. So guys are fired up to go play. We'll have a walkthrough tonight, and then we'll get into our normal kind of open week routine coming off of an open week. We'll have a Tuesday, Wednesday practice, a Thursday run through, Friday walkthrough, Friday run through prior to the game. Try to get our guys there fresh and rested up. But we'll have two really physical practices tomorrow and the following day. So that'll be really important to continue to play with that kind of edge and that kind of mentality that we played with against Michigan. I thought our players did a tremendous job of answering that challenge that we gave them during the week. Was to play, number one, really hard, and number two, really physically, and said it post game and believe it. I thought we were the most physical team there, and certainly we're going to have to even be more physical as we start to prepare for Georgia. Yeah, I'm kind of these days are all running together. So I don't really know what day that was. Basically, the day after our game, um, we played, I guess, Saturday night. And then Sunday was more about, taking a look at ourselves from the Michigan game and trying to, correct the mistakes that we made. And that was more what Sunday was about. Had a little bit of time to jump into Georgia Sunday evening, and then all day yesterday and obviously today have been dedicated to, getting ready for the walkthrough tonight, which will install a lot of the game plan in that walkthrough and then go practice it for the next couple of days. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. The interesting thing was we felt like we'd been a physical team all year, and I think those inside the football program certainly recognize that. We felt like our success in the second half was because of that physical play and that mentality that we carried, really all season. As the game went along, we felt like our guys got stronger and got more physical. And that's been, pretty consistent really throughout the year. And I think that's probably part of the reason we played so well. As I said, in the second half of ball games, run game really started to get going. Kind of played out the same way Saturday. Um, as you go prepare for Georgia, I mean, the same thing as Michigan, just a little bit more athletic in terms of really big guys up front. Um, Ends are a little different, better pass rushers. Michigan was more big, long, kind of bigger defensive ends. A little more run stopper type guys, where these are a little bit more typical SEC defensive ends. Really, really good pass rushers, really physical guys, um, great speed, great athleticism. And then obviously up front, the tackles, that group of tackles is really impressive. I mean, those guys are tremendous athletes and, not only big and strong, but can redirect and can run. And they do these athletic things that you just don't see other guys do. And that's kind of true of the whole team. I mean, it's a very athletic football team, what you would expect from a defending national championship team and a team that's been, number one for most of the year. Yeah, I thought we played okay. You know what I mean? I thought we played really hard and really physical. We made a bunch of mistakes. Um, Turned the ball over 3 times, which has been uncharacteristic of us this season. I think going into the game, had you told me we'd turn it over 3 times, I said we probably would have a difficult time winning. Credit to our players for overcoming those turnovers and those mistakes. Obviously we created some that were big plays as well. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was anything stellar, our performance. I think that the great thing about it is our players know this, our staff certainly knows it. We can play a lot better than we did. And that's encouraging because, we beat a good football team and I think if we can get some of the issues that we had corrected, um, there were times we didn't communicate as well as we should have. We probably had more busts on both sides of the ball than we should have. We made some bad decisions a couple of times in our special teams kick return and punt return game. Just some things like that we can clean up, and all those things made a big difference in that game Saturday, and probably kept it maybe a little bit closer than it should have. Yeah, Amari did what he's done. That's been what's great about this team is really going back obviously to the Colorado game. The next man up has stepped up and played well. When Kendra went down with that knee injury, Amari saw it as an opportunity to go in there and get a bunch of playing time and a bunch of carries, and performed exactly like we expected him to. Um, he's a very good player, very mature, uh, knows exactly what to do. He's just an really intelligent young man who makes the most of his opportunities every time he gets them. And so he did exactly what I thought he would do, and he's a really good football player. That's a really good combination. Those two guys, the running styles are a little bit different, and I think that's hard on a defense when you've got two backs that have a little bit of yin and yang together in terms of what they do, and what they complement each other well. We're hopeful we get Kendra back as the week progresses. We'll know a little bit more every single day. Right now I would say he'd be questionable, and then we'll kind of make a determination as we get through the week. Same thing it's been all year. Just do your job, play hard, be physical. You know, take care of your business. I think the big thing for us is just learning how to handle all this, and thought our players really handled it well. We had 4 players that went back and counted to make sure that had played in a bowl game before. Had a couple more that were on the team that didn't participate, but you think the other team has a huge advantage when they had been to the college football playoff the year before, and you haven't been to a bowl game, and only 4 of your guys that are playing for you right now had played in a game, and so that was going to be a challenge for us, and so we challenged our players to treat it like they had been there before and act like they'd been there before, and they did. We were in Phoenix for a long time, and the way our players prepared and the maturity they showed, um, was exactly what we needed in order to be able to go out and win that ball game. And so, you got to tip your hat to these guys. They have been up for every single challenge this year. It's been a learning experience. I mean, we've said it over and over again. We're kind of building this airplane as we're flying it. That's the way it's been all year, because everything's new, and we're putting it together. And we didn't have a bowl formula. We didn't have any of that. We just put a lot of thought and effort into trying to maximize every opportunity to get better, let our players enjoy the experience, which I'm glad that we did. And at the same time, most importantly, get them ready to go play a big football game. And thought the guys really responded well to that challenge. Yeah, yeah. It's one of the things I think that we'll talk about tonight. About what happened last night in Buffalo, and certainly, offer our prayers as a team. That's unfortunately sometimes something that happens in football, and certainly I hope the outcome is good, and we'll learn more hopefully today about the young man's condition. But it's certainly something we'll talk about. Yeah, I think that's. I've always been a believer that when things like this happen, there's always a cloud and there's always a certain level of anxiety. And I found the best way to deal with that is to talk through it, just to be honest and open, and say, hey, look, let's sit down and talk about these things that concern us all, and try to deal with them the best way that we can. I mean, look, the fan support here has just been tremendous. I mean, I don't take it for granted. I really don't. It's something that means a lot to me personally. Means a lot to our players. Just the way our fans, our alumni, the city of Fort Worth, everybody has uh, you know has supported this program. I think it's really been something special. And when you come back from a long trip like that, and a long day of travel, and you have several thousand fans here, it certainly uh, boosts your spirits, and and reemphasizes what you already know, just how important college football is to Fort Worth and to TCU, and to our fan base and our alumni and our donors and everybody. And so, anytime that you have that many people come and show their appreciation, it certainly, like I said, doesn't go unnoticed by any of us. I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think what happens is normally, and this is a little different. The preparation's a little tighter, the window for this game than there was the semifinal game. What happens when you have a month to prepare for another team is, you start to see a lot of ghosts. You can talk yourself into a lot of things, and you have all these ideas, and then you go out there and you go, well, that's a bad idea, and then you try another idea, and before long, everybody's up in arms and discombobulated. And I thought our staff did a really nice job of being focused and tight with the game plan. We did, I felt like, just enough new things. Uh, you know, I wish we would have executed some of them a little bit better, and we're certainly going to have to this week. But at the end of the day, we're 15 games into the season, and you are who you are, and you're good at what you're good at. And like anything else, um, we're all going to rely on things that we're comfortable with and things we feel like we can execute, and make calls that our players know, understand, can adjust to, and and execute, because that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to the players, us as coaches putting them in the right position, those guys being able to communicate, talk, make the adjustments they need to make, but then most importantly, go play fast and make plays. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of part of the TCU way in a lot of ways. I think we're kind of a small private school that has a really good history. I mean, it's pretty remarkable. I saw some statistics. Since 2000, if you look at TCU's football program and Michigan's program, you would think Michigan would have won a lot more games. On the contrary, TCU's won a lot more games in the last 22 years than Michigan has. And so, look, there's been success here. I think that for whatever reason, it's been a little bit of a secret in college football, and um, the facilities and the commitment and everything are here, and so it's Coach Patterson had a lot of success here at TCU for a very long time, and it's like anything else. So I enjoy that role of and that role of having to wake up every day and go earn it. And I think it's good for our players. I mean, that's kind of the way life is, and so I think it's a great lesson for all of us that doesn't matter what happened last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 2 hours ago. It matters what's going to happen, and our players have had that mentality really since the beginning. It's funny. We came out of the. I remember talking to our players. We came out of the Big 12 preseason press stuff, and we found out that our team was picked seventh in the league, and never talked to our players about it. Had a couple of players kind of mention it to me, and I just said, look, doesn't matter. It's going to be a long season, and it's up to us to prove those guys wrong. And it still is. I mean, that's just the way it is. And then when this season ends, the bigger challenge now is how are we going to react to being, kind of the favorite? How are we going to react to having that target on our chest and all that? So that's stuff down the road, but that's going to be a whole nother, job for us as coaches to make sure that we stay hungry and we keep our edge, and we do all the things that got us here. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's a national championship game. It's a hard thing to get to. Um, there's a lot of guys that have been, Hall of Fame legendary coaches that have never gotten to this point in their career. And so, this is a hard thing to get to. It's a very important game. You don't get a chance to do this every year. Um, but at the same time, I mean, look, we're going to do exactly what we've done every game up to this point. We're going to prepare the best we can. We're going to play really hard. Our guys are going to play tough. They're going to, um, you know, not revel in the success, and they're not going to, uh, you know, dwell in the failure that happens during the game. They're going to go out and they're going to play their very best, and they're going to play hard for 60 minutes, and they're going to do their job, and they're going to hopefully like the outcome of it. And that's the goal. And it's kind of been our mantra since the very beginning is, look, man, go do your job for 60 minutes, play as hard as you can. When the game's over, look up at the scoreboard and see who won. And I think that's been our approach from the very beginning, and it certainly has to be our approach Monday night. Yeah, they got a lot of guys that are really talented, but the tight end group is really good. I mean, those guys remind me of some of the guys that I've coached in the past, the Gronkowskis of the world. I mean, they're just big bodies that are athletic. The thing I like about these guys is they play physical too. They're tough guys. They're good blockers. They're very athletic. They do kind of freakish things, but at the same time, they're tough guys, and they take pride in blocking and being physical. Which not all of those really skilled athletes do that very often, and that's what makes Georgia's team good. I mean, I have a lot of respect for this team because you turn the film on and they're blowing people out, and man, they're playing hard. You know what I mean? They're getting after it. They're playing hard. They've got a great standard in their program. I have a lot of respect for their coaching staff. I think that they do an outstanding job of doing the little things right. I think the greatest compliment you can give a coach is that their team really plays hard, and these guys play hard consistently, and they're well coached, and they know what to do, and they react to every situation. Um, and they made plays down the stretch in that game Saturday night to put themselves in this championship game. They got down, they had the rally in the fourth quarter, and you got to give them a ton of credit for doing that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. The thing about Stetson Bennett is, number one, he got a lot of experience, played in a lot of big games. You can tell he doesn't get rattled. Um, I think had a chance to spend time with he and Kirby at the Heisman Trophy a little bit. Just watch those guys interact, and you can tell there's a real tight bond between those two guys. They're very competitive people. You can see that. Um, I know they were talking strategy and doing things at the Heisman Trophy. So I mean, he's like a kind of a player coach, I think, in some ways for their team. He's just been around for so long, and like I said, I really appreciated that relationship he had with Coach Smart and the way those guys interacted. I thought it was fun to watch them. Um, Great decision maker. What I like about him too is I think he understands his skill set and his strengths and his weaknesses, and plays to his strengths, and has a great supporting cast. And as you said, I think he and Max are really similar that way. Very competitive, winners. If I was playing racquetball or basketball or anything like that, I'd want those guys on my team because they're going to compete and scratch and do anything they can to win. Yeah, yeah. Thank goodness we did. I mean, look, that's the thing, and we've stayed healthy this year at that position. Really, I told our players this, when you go and you get somebody in the portal, part of what I talked about earlier is communication with your current players, saying, look, we're going to go get this guy. Here's why we're going to get him. Here's why we think it's important. And that's what we did with those guys, was sit down and say, okay, look, we need to build some depth in that room, because you look around college football, very seldom does a starting running back make it through the year, particularly somebody that gets the bulk of the carries. And you saw that last week at Michigan. They didn't play. They had a really, really good running back that didn't play in that game because of injury. And so it's tough to stay healthy. You take a lot of hits. And so it's kind of been at times running back by committee for us. I think that's probably the best approach. It gives you the best chance to keep, your players healthy as you go through the season. Um, but I think that anytime you can add depth to a room and add competition particularly if it's young depth, which we were able to add, then it just helps your program. Those guys play on special teams. They cover kicks. They're on the punt team. Trent Battle made a huge play on the last punt of the game, made a tackle, and that was huge, pinning Michigan back. And those guys are contributing in a bunch of different ways. It's funny, when we saw the tape of Amari, we thought he was a good player. I think he's made a big jump this year. I really do. I think that he has gone from being a good player to a great player. And I think he's just playing with more confidence. I think he's more certain. I think he trusts the scheme and the offensive line more. What I love about Amari, he hits the hole. He's a guy that Kendre is a little bit more of a guy that feels his way through things, and Amari is going to be a downhill hit the hole guy a little bit more than Kendre will. And so that's kind of what I talked about earlier about how they complement each other, and just the running styles are different. Yeah, I've known Kirby for a long time. I mean, I don't know him well, but we both, Kirby's first job was working for Chris Hatcher at Valdosta State, and Chris Hatcher was my roommate at Kentucky. So, Hatch is the guy that's got a lot of dirt on both of us. We were young, and I got a lot of dirt on Hatcher too, so it's okay. But yeah, I think Kirby kind of is a Georgia guy through and through. Came up as a player there. I remember coaching at Kentucky when Kirby was playing at Georgia. I think that time's up right, and he was a good player, and it just kind of got into coaching pretty quickly and ascended through the ranks fast. And Chris knew he had something pretty special. Chris's two coordinators were Kirby and Will Muschamp were his two coordinators at Valdosta State. So Chris did a good job putting his staff together, and those guys did a great job of helping Chris win a bunch of ball games, and then that jump started their career, and they both obviously had a lot of success. Yeah. Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, look, you can make arguments that this team should have played for a national championship one more time, potentially two more times before this. As I said from the very beginning, when after the Big 12 championship game, the landscape of college football has changed, and I think the perception of the Big 12 has changed. Still, probably not what it needs to be, but it's better. And I think all that allowed us to get in the playoff, and then it was up to us to do something with that opportunity then. But and we have. And so the good thing is that helps, I think, the committee do what they did. I think whoever the team is next year that's in this situation hopefully will benefit from the success that we had in the semifinal game, and hopefully in the championship game. And so I think that's what you want. You want to validate people's when they go out and they do the right things. And so it's obviously a huge game. And as I said earlier, I mean, you could make the argument that they could have been in it once for sure, and maybe twice. Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's always the same for me. Scheme catches your eye. When you go, you hire coaches, and there are guys that obviously when you're in this business, you see a lot of film and you watch teams and you go, boy, that team looks really well coached. I wonder who their coordinator is, and you kind of dive in those kind of things, and you try to understand, who's doing things right and who's responsible for it. And you keep a list of coaches all the time. And not only that you may want to talk to, but at some point you may want to potentially hire. Well, I got a pretty good taste of Joe Gillespie, having played against him, those years from when I was at SMU and he was at Tulsa. So I kind of knew their scheme. I was obviously thought it was a difficult scheme to score points against, move the ball against consistently. I felt like it was different than what was being run in this league, other than Iowa State. I felt like it was a good fit for the Big 12. So that got him on the list, and so what happened at that point was I sat down and I met him, spent some time with him, and 5 minutes into the deal, I was like, well, this is the guy, and it's very easy to see that because hiring the right people is most important. You know, you just have to find the right people. And Joe Gillespie's a teacher. He is someone who cares deeply about his players. He's a great communicator. He has absolutely no ego. Works very, very hard. Is a good recruiter. I mean, just all the things that you want your defensive coordinator to be. He's that, and then some. And so, I was very fortunate to get him here. Um, I'm sure as things move along, it'll be difficult to hold on to him. But that's what you want. You want to hire people that other people want because they're successful. And he's going to have a real bright future. And I think our players really, really like playing for him. I think he's got a great methodology and way of teaching, and makes players better, and certainly builds relationships with guys as well. And so, can't say enough positive things about him. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. The guy that always gives me a hard time about that's Mac Brown. Mac will shoot me a text occasionally and go like, "Hey, you might want to mix in a loss or something." It's kind of did the same thing at SMU when we were 10-0 in year two, and kind of faltered down the stretch a little bit. But yeah, look, you just how this business is. You just try to do your best, keep your head down, not worry about it, and say, "Look, we'll deal with it with all the expectations and all that stuff at some other point." Look, I know this. I'd a lot rather this be my first year than my first year at Cal, which was 1-11. So I'll take this any day. Um, you know, dance with who brung you. You know what I mean? I think he would give me the old Darrow Oil quote. I mean, look, just do what you've done. It's worked, got you here, and so just keep doing what you're doing and be the same person. I think that's going to be our message to our players. Is look, we don't have to do anything different than what we've done. We got to play better. It's important to play better as you go through the season. You play better opponents. You have to play better. You have to make fewer mistakes. But we're going to play hard. We're going to play hard for 60 minutes. We're going to play as physical as we can. And if we execute at a high level, then things will be just fine. Yeah. No, I'm hoping to get to see Lincoln, spend some time with him. Really want to get over and see his fancy house. I know he's got a big fancy house over there in Southern California, so maybe I can sneak over there and check it out. Yeah, but look, Lincoln's a great guy. Obviously, I know he's excited for Garrett. You know, and it'll be good to see him, spend some time with him. Called me after the game was Marshawn Lynch. Um, so that was cool to get to talk to Marshawn. Marshawn and I got to be pretty close when I was at Cal, and love Marshawn. He's got a great heart. That guy's done more for Oakland than anybody that you can imagine. And we got to know each other through the Boys and Girls Club, and obviously his time at Cal, and have some mutual friends. And it was great to catch up with him. I invited him to the game, but he told me he was going to Italy instead. So I can't blame him. Okay, appreciate you guys. All right.
We're going to start with Dylan Horton, fresh off his 4-sack game against Michigan. We'll go straight to questions for Dylan.
Dylan, obviously, Marco said you had 4 sacks, and yes, so talk us through what you saw. Obviously, Michigan's got
Right. Like you said, they won the Joe Award, so they're a great offensive line group. So respect to them. Um, Depending on the play, it was I felt like the most consistent thing was like just the sacks in general was like the effort there and just allowing or just my teammates doing their job, allowing me to get to the play and make that play.
Dylan, with Coach Gillespie team, they obviously a whole different system from you guys and players. What's the biggest difference of what you guys are doing this year to what you've done in the past, and how does that translate to what you guys are going to do? You to have the freedom to have the four sacks, and you to have the campaign team have it.
Right. Um, well, compared to two defenses as a D line group, we have different responsibilities. So um, as a three down, we kind of have to hold gaps a little bit longer. The double team is on a little bit longer, but allows for the linebackers to run freely through gaps and make presences known in the backfield. And once that happens, and once they can in a routine of being in the backfield, then as a D line you get to work off easier, and our plays come a little bit later, but they come better.
How long did it take to kind of adjust to that?
Right. I feel like during spring we as a defense we got used to it. That's kind of where we you know defined our culture as a defense, and that's kind of how we got comfortable.
Your teammates kind of have both played for Georgia last year, won a national title with them. Has he given you guys any advice about going up against this offensive line?
Not necessarily. I feel like we've just been watching film and it's kind of having our own meetings and studying that way. We haven't really talked about any personnel or anything like that.
Coach Dykes, obviously you guys in football, maybe people didn't realize how critical of a team needs to be, but you went into that game last week, people were wondering how you guys would respond to it. You guys did. But now you face it again this week, and the team maybe even more physical, more now. Just talk about what last week did for you, which trying to show people what it does for you going forward.
Right. Well, going to the game, we knew we were a physical team. We got to show that during the game, and we kind of keep the same mindset coming into this upcoming game.
Maybe surprise some people.
I feel like we did. I feel like the thing in the media that we were a physical team, and we showed that this past game.
Dylan, how do you balance the joy of the win, but at the same time knowing you've got to prepare and get ready for one more round? Because people obviously see class and they're all.
Right. Kind of like we did during the season. We you play the game, we want you excited, and then you have to realize that you have to focus for the upcoming game. No matter where your emotions are, you gotta just keep pushing, keep grinding for the upcoming game.
What did it mean though you create that feeling during that time? Do you feel like
I feel like as a team, we had the feeling just from before the game started. We just came out with a confidence that we knew we were going to win.
Dylan, what does it mean to you to have all the fans at the PSO Ball, and you guys get back here to facilities, you got fans waiting for you here. What does that mean to you guys as players?
That's a great feeling to know that you're supported from a great fan base and that everybody is just happy for the moment, and that's a great feeling to be part of.
Dylan, what was sometimes playing against multiple tight end teams like you're going to see in Georgia and play in Michigan, the Big 12 championship as well.
Mhm.
It was like a 10 personnel team, tight ends. What's your preference and why?
That's a good question. Personally, I don't feel like I have a preference. I feel like that's just a style of offense that's effective, um, depending on how you use it. And then, you know, yeah, I don't have a preference at all. Actually,
Dylan, how would you describe Coach Gillespie's coaching style?
he's a great coach, great guy. I feel like his coaching style is unique to him. He's really passionate when he coaches. He really wants the defense and his players to understand what's happening. And, as long as if you have any questions, you can come to him. I feel like as long as we all play fast and physical and fly around and use our speed as a defense, then he's happy with that, and he wants to show that.
What was the on the field conversation after that first play?
After the first play, next play, like that's kind of our as a team, we focus on the next play no matter any situation.
Your thoughts on you as football rookie?
Man, that was crazy. He had a great game. He was he was all over the field. I feel like as a teammate, I'm really proud of him. this upcoming game.
Yes, and you like, I think that's talk all the time about your process. If you allow yourself to think about being a national champion,
Yes, sir. I feel like that's what you have to do. You have to envision the win and work towards that every game.
You mentioned D, obviously. How much do you think the scheme that Coach Gillespie allows for a player like that to have that? And I guess he showed he was still a pretty decent wide receiver back in high school.
Right. I feel like the scheme fits D perfectly. Allows them to, like I said, like run across the field, make open field tackles, tackles for loss. Drive back in coverage, interceptions. He can do it all basically. So
How's the support been from Frisco? I mean, you were safety at Frisco, and 4.5 years later, you get 4 sacks in a college football semifinal. How's the support been from maybe friends back home and maybe former coaches?
they've been great actually. My mom teaches at Frisco High School, so she's still around everybody over there, and they just like talking to her and tell them it's like sharing information basically, and it's really good to hear from them.
What did you weigh in high school as a safety?
Roughly like 200 pounds,
870.
approximately. Yeah, yeah. Throughout college,
All muscle.
hope yeah, all muscle. Nah,
What has that been like for you transferring from safety to linebacker to Mexico to defensive back at TCU? What's that process been like for you to play through various unique positions?
right. I feel like it's unique. Like every year, I kind of got closer to the ball, so I got to see a defense being played and kind of play out differently every year, and I got like different perspectives as I got closer to the ball, and I feel like I have a better understanding of how it should flow.
Anything else for Dylan? Thanks.
Right. That was a scary play, a scary situation. You know, my family, TCU, we're all praying for him. Hoping he gets better. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
well, the Mari team are caught on that, going back home to Inglewood, California. Got Dylan. Go straight to questions for Amari.
What's going to be like going back home?
Um, Obviously for me, like that's something special. I've been walking around telling people like it's almost like it's scripted. My last college game, I get to go right down the road from my house, so just a surreal feeling, and I'm excited for it.
How far is it from your house to where that stadium is? I
Uh,
know it obviously is
Yeah,
big, but how far is it from
it's literally a 5 minute drive. Like it's that close.
you been in this stadium
I
before?
haven't. This will be my first time.
How special was that moment, having kind of not care to take a really step over for everyone out? How special was that for you to do in a second?
It was big for me. Just always having that confidence in what you're capable of, and then finally be able to really put it on display. Uh, it's just like a moment I'll never forget.
So I understand you kind of been through a lot here, some
Yeah.
highs, some lows, I guess. What were some of the things you kind of had to overcome during the time?
We just know fighting for playing time, like playing with guys like Jed, Shaywo, Zach, Dre, like all these are NFL type dudes. So just fighting for play time, getting on the field any way I can, special teams, all those things. So just finally, you manifest things and finally have it come to fruition is just like a crazy moment.
Amari, what are you telling people about what are you telling your teammates about your hometown?
um, I don't know. They haven't really asked me honestly. Like the only thing I've been asked about so far is food places. That's so I got to give some good suggestions out, or else I'm gonna have a bad rep.
Did you know before the season that national championship would be there? Was that something?
I think I found out during camp actually, and I was like, that would be crazy to actually go and play there. Now the moment's here.
What is the best food that?
For me, I like a lot of Mexican food. But we have a variety of food. Like there's so many people, like different kinds of people in LA. Like you can literally get anything. So it just depends on your preference, honestly.
What's your next?
Uh, That's a good question. I like those birria tacos. Like they have like it's a taco truck in like East LA. It's really good. Got like 5-star rating. I don't remember the name of it, but I know where it's at. So.
Amari, what high school have you been
I just had two, I think, Army and Navy. FBS, FCS. I had Cal Poly, UC Davis. I think that was it. Yeah.
Amari, how did it help you, Zach, transfer to OU? Did you be able to play?
Um.
Have you heard of him?
Yeah, I've talked. We talk occasionally. Him and Dre are closer than because they came in together, so just naturally. But he actually texted me last night, asked me to play the game with him. So we'll play the game today. But obviously, with him leaving, that created opportunity for me. So it's just on me to make the most of that. But I think him being here like that helped me have to step my game up. Like being around such great players, like you have to elevate yourself, or it won't work out.
Have you regret now you're playing the game?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it, but it's not really my place to say that. So, yeah. Um, that was actually kind of tough. With that program, like it's 8-week classes, so from June 2nd till December, so like almost like 2 days before Christmas, like I was in classes nonstop. Like how the regular students have fall break, I didn't have any of that. It was pretty tough. But once I got on the back end of it in the springtime, it was much easier. But I don't regret it at all. Now I have something under my belt that nobody can ever take from me. So yeah, something great to have.
Mark, speaking of that, all the things that you've done, how important is it to the youth in your community to see all the great things that you've accomplished and encourage people back home?
I talk to people like from my neighborhood, but just being able to, like you said, like I guess create hope. Some people growing up like they don't have much hope. Like it's like you only know what you see. So if you just see people hanging out, that's all you know. You don't think you really had opportunity to do much more. But I think for me, like just to be able to be that, beacon of hope from somebody like that's something big to me.
Amari, when Trey goes down, you go in and have the game for your hat. What's he saying to you on the sideline throughout the game?
We just had like our normal talks. We sit on the sideline, we joke. I think that's what makes our team so good. Like we don't let the moment take a hold of us. Like we're still able to be calm. Even in moments like after I fumble, like I didn't let that moment take a hold of me. It was like Dylan said earlier, it's next play. Like that mentality is what's taken us so far. We just talked about the plays, just like, oh, I saw you was about to break one. And literally right before I broke the long one, I told him, like, I feel a big one coming. And then it happened the next drive.
Martin's been here for quite a while, and your coaching staff coming in. A lot of guys from this class transferred somewhere else. What made you stay, and how glad are you that you stayed?
Really, I just, sat down and thought on, prayed about it. And it just felt like the right decision. I went and talked with Coach Dykes, and he was like, we'd love to have you back. And so from that point on, I was just like, it's a new opportunity, like you said, a fresh start. And just I was like, let's take it and run with it. And now it's brought me here, and I'll never regret that choice of staying.
Hey, Amari, how are the ticket requests coming out of LA?
Yeah, it's bad right now, but everybody's using their tickets, so I'm like, yeah, y'all might have to pay for some tickets. People tell me it's just gonna have to be a watch party because those prices are ridiculous right now. Um, I think I just brought back like that explosiveness I used to have. Like I'm not sure where it might have just been like a confidence thing, honestly. I think that's the biggest thing that I've gotten back this year is my confidence in knowing what I'm capable of. With Coach Jones behind me, with Kaz and his strength staff, and the things that they've instilled in us, and I think like I just had that feeling like, okay, I'm getting back in my groove, and that's just taking me to this point this season. Um, it comes down to the small things. Like he said, like the best running backs have like they trust their tracks every play and just don't, like I was saying earlier, don't let too much get into your head. Like just go out there, play, have fun. I think that's the biggest thing he allows us to do. Like he doesn't try to overcoach us. Like he in practice he instills in us what we need to know, and then from there he just lets us do our job. And obviously, if you mess up, he's gonna get on you. But he doesn't try to do too much and be too nitpicky. Like he's gonna give you confidence in what you're doing.
Two more questions. Anytime you said that your grade is questionable right now, due to designation, are you
Yeah, that's all I can do at this point. Like you say, he's questionable. I don't know, so I just have to go into it like I'm gonna be the guy, and if he plays, I would love to have him, because we're a great duo. But I just have to prepare like that. Yeah, like you said, I think it would be like a Hollywood script, like something somebody wrote down and it finally just all played out. But it'll be a big moment for this program, for myself, obviously. But I think for this program, really just coming from the last few seasons we've had and just being able to turn it all around and have this, they call it like the Cinderella story. But to put it all together and win a national championship like that would mean so much for this program in the future of it.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We have offensive guard Wes Harris next.
Wes, were you guys pissed before the game? Had all the talk about how Michigan was big and strong and physical, and people didn't mention that language.
Yeah, we definitely heard quite a bit about it. I know I wouldn't be talking a whole lot of stuff to rile up another team. It just kind of lights a fire underneath you, and it's kind of something to play off of. But yeah, it definitely gave us a little bit extra juice, and we were tired of hearing about it, so we wanted to go put our foot down and kind of make a statement and show, we were a physical football team too.
Now everybody's questioning though, can you do it again?
Yeah, I don't see why not, man. I mean, shoot, it's a one game tournament. I don't. Not very many people get the opportunity and a chance, to go play for a national championship, and everybody's got both feet in, 10 toes down, and we're excited, dude. We're excited to go out there and just have another opportunity to play another game, and this one just happens to be for a national championship.
You listen about all that.
Oh, it's awesome, dude. It's honestly surreal. Like you said, this we haven't been as very successful the past few years, 4 years. It's been rough around here. It's been tough, but all the guys that stayed, some of the coaches that stayed, nobody's quit, nobody's given up on this program, and it means a lot. We worked really hard for this, been through a lot of changes, and everybody bought into it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who didn't want to be a part of it got out, and the guys that wanted to, make a change and stay, they stayed, and it sure as heck paid off for us.
Wes, y'all were good in short yardage against Michigan. What were the lessons learned from maybe the Kansas State championship?
Yeah, especially in the O line group. I mean, I think every O lineman in the country would tell you they take pride off being known as a physical group. I feel like if you can describe being offensive lineman with one word, I think somebody would tell you physicality. So, getting stuffed in short yardage, we heard a lot about it. We were upset with it. Our coach was upset with it, and we took it to heart, but we also took it off the chin, and we knew we had to fix it. So, that was a big emphasis on us this week, and we heard all week. And they were really good up front, very talented, big, strong, physical guys. But we wanted to go prove that we were too. So we went ahead and did that. Yeah, no, it's different. It's definitely different, man. I mean, I've never played. I know a lot of guys on the team haven't played in games, this high of a or this at this high of a level. But it's exciting. It definitely feels good to get back on the winning train. I kind of got away from it for a little bit, and like you said, I've won quite a bit in high school, so I wasn't used to losing, and that's why I came to TCU in the first place, man. I mean, they're always winning. Winning. Whether or not be big 12 titles, they were always playing in big bowl games, winning 10, 11, 12 plus games a year. And that's why I came here. My freshman year, I think we ended up going 11-3, beating Stanford in the Alma Bowl, and then it just kind of started dropping after that. So it definitely feels good to get back on the right foot and start winning some more ball games.
Obviously, you can talk about your career too, but I mean, when you look at the bigger picture, I mean, small school TCU, before the Big 12 kind of jumped around different conferences, you have to put in perspective the bigger picture of what all this means for this league.
Oh, it's huge, man. Nobody gave us a shot at the beginning of the year. I don't think anybody thought we'd win with 5, 6 games. And, to be able to play for not only a national championship, we got to play for a Big 12 championship. We just won the Fiesta Bowl, and now we get to go play for a national championship. it's huge for this school, for the whole Fort Worth community. Um, I think back of like the Rose Bowl in 2011, what it did for this place. And, you fast forward 10, 12 years later, we're playing for a national championship. It's awesome. I feel like it's going to turn this place around. It's definitely going to catch the attention of, of recruits, just in that, talking that kind of stuff for football wise. But it's great, man, especially like we get back from the game and there had been a couple thousand people here, cheering us on. And I've never seen anything like that. And it was awesome, to be a part of and, to know that the community's behind us. And shoot, I feel like a lot of the, the country's behind us, I feel like people are kind of getting used to seeing the same teams win and win and win. And, you throw us in there, nobody gives us a shot. Well, now we got, we got a shot. So, yeah, we're excited. And it's a good deal, man. Oh, they're legit, dude. They're really good. But I mean, heck, dude, who's not at this point? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, you're going to play at this point. Everybody's going to be good. Everybody's going to have NFL guys all across the board. And, it's a challenge for us, but why not? To be the best, you got to beat the best. So bring it on, right? Oh, dude, it means the world. We got a great strength staff, man. Coach Cos, the way that they help us, they work us out, stretch us, nutrition. Shoot, just like our sleep schedule, even it's night and day, and it's helped a ton. Yeah, we haven't had a whole lot of major injuries this year, and I got to tip the cap to them. They've kept us in shape, they've kept us healthy, and they know what they're doing, man. It's paying off, and I think it shows on the field too. uh, Man, I'll tell you this much. I took way too much stuff to Arizona, dude. I had like 32 bags. I didn't know what to expect. So I'm not going to take 32 this time. I'll cut it in half and bring 16. But no, I'm excited, man. I think we're going down there for like 3 days. We're not going down there to, see California. We're going down there to win a national championship. So we're excited, man. We're in a dome, so I'm not going to have to worry about getting sunburned. I know I mentioned that to you last time, so I'll be all right there. So, but yeah, man, we're excited. I guess, I said I've never been to California. It's pretty cool if your first time to go is to play for a national championship. So we're excited. Mhm. Yeah. I feel like a large part of our student population and our fan base, is from California. Speaking of the Rose Bowl, there's that famous picture of like the flyover, and it's looking down the stadium. Well, over half that stadium is purple, and we played Wisconsin, and everybody's talking about little old TCU. There are a bunch of fans there, a lot of purple. So we expect the same thing, man. We got a big population out there. I hear there's a lot of hypnotoads out there as well. So we're excited to get out there and see it. I know the fans, they're going to be behind us. They've been great all year. I mean, they were loud as could be at that last game. That last drive, they caused a fumble. The center to snap it back there. The quarterback wasn't ready for it. So we know they're going to be behind us and cheering loud. So we're excited. Oh yeah, 100%, man. But it shouldn't cause any more than it has. Like all year we've been underdogs. Like I said earlier, and honestly I think we've done a really good job this year, kind of blocking out the outside noise, not listening to that stuff, not letting it get to us. But yeah, man, if I told you that underdog stuff didn't you know hype us up a little bit, I'd be lying to you. It definitely does. Yeah, it's pretty cool, dude. It's awesome, man. Hunter, our older brother Hunter, he was here for a year. I got to play with him for a little bit, so that was cool. And then Wyatt came here. I was like, dude, you're not going to SMU. You're coming here. So we got Wyatt on board here, and man, it means the world. That was actually the first dude I was looking for after the game. I hugged Coker, hugged the O-line guys, I hugged Max, and I was like, where is Wyatt at, dude? I went over there and tackled him, threw him down on the ground, kicked some confetti on him, whatnot. But it's pretty cool, man. It's just surreal. I know mama and dad, they're proud as can be of us, and yeah, man, it's pretty cool to be able to share something like this. Like you said, I look at everybody on this team as a brother. We're a family, but to be able to share, with your blood brother, it's pretty special, man. Oh yeah, dude, Amari. I mean, we got. I think I told you this at the game, man. We got three great running backs, and I'm sure we got a couple other guys on the team that can play running back if we need them to. But he's been good all year. Every time his number is called, he gets in there and that boy can run the football, man. He lowers his pads and he's got some juice. And no matter who's behind us, we got confidence whoever's back there run the rock. But yeah, it's huge. There was never any, Kendra's out. What are we gonna do? Amari stepped up and he's done it all year, man. Every time his number's called, he gets in there and he knows how to tote the rock. So, no matter what happens, we got faith in that dude. We got faith in all of them back there. So, what am I not taking? Oh man, let's see here. I don't know. I brought way too many sweatpants to Arizona. I heard it got cold at night. I think we were sleeping with our door open half the time, me and Alon. It was sweaty. We were getting sweat. We were sweating in our room. So probably not going to take any sweatpants. But outside of that, I don't know.
What's the difference between Amari and Kendra? Among the offensive line, what do you see different?
Man, I don't know, man. They're both. I mean, they're different backs. Don't get me wrong, but dude, I feel like they got a lot of similarities too. Dude, they're competitive as can be. They run the ball hard. They're not very often you see either of those guys get brought down, on first contact. And we take pride in that, man. You got backs. I mean, heck, you got a quarterback like that too. We got people running the ball that they're fighting for yards. We take pride in that stuff, and it gets us fired up front. To block for them, and sometimes knowing if we don't get to this backer, it's not the end of the world because we got two three all world people back there running the rock behind you. It's a good feeling. They're both great running backs, and like I said, we got confidence in both of them.
Thanks, Wes.
Thank y'all.
We have Johnny Hodges, linebacker, next. And we'll go straight to questions for Johnny.
It's been pretty cool. Just a dream come true. You see a lot of people when they win championships, just coming back and their fans, supporting them and then being in the shoes, being in this position. It's been awesome. Awesome to watch, awesome to be a part of. It's not really that different. I mean, the only thing that is different is instead of having four down linemen, you have three, and instead of having two inside linebackers, you have basically three linebackers. So there's still six people in the box. So I guess it's a little different, but for me, it's kind of the same. Like coming from where I came from, we ran a pretty tough defense, and it was like gap oriented, just knowing your gaps, stuff like that. But the read's a little bit easier, honestly. But yeah, from the outside eye, it's like might seem a little tough and hard to understand, but as a player, it's pretty easy to kind of gel into and get used to. He's like a father figure. I mean, he's just, you just hope you can get coached by someone like this. He reminds me of my high school coaches, my youth coaches who I have tremendous relationships with. And what you see on the field is how he acts. He always tries to stay calm and collected and that stuff, make the right calls, and he'll admit when he makes a mistake. But, he just gets us fired up. He makes us like enjoy coming in every day, enjoy coming into the meeting room, enjoy seeing him, enjoy watching film. And I think that's the hardest thing to do as a college coach, getting the players to buy in because we're here all the time. So, like I said, just a father figure. I'm so grateful to have him in my life and have him be my position coach / defense coordinator. Well, first off, they're a great team and big physical offensive line, really athletic offensive line, skinny ankles on those guys, three running backs that rotate and they just run hard. It's almost scary you're playing like a multitude of running backs and just one running back because you got to watch film on all of them, see how they run, see who's the big guy, who's the fast guy. So, and they're always going to come in fresh. So you're going to have to, buckle your chin strap and be ready every play, bring in every play. Their tight ends get a lot of credit. Their tight ends are really good. It's going to be an honor playing against them, battling with them. Wide receivers, crazy athletic. And I think Stetson's probably my favorite player to compete against. He just such an underdog story, and now that he's a little bit older, he gets a little bit of haters. The quote grow your in the spotlight long enough to become the villain. It's kind of his story, but it's gonna be awesome playing against him, hitting him, having him throw passes over my head, competing against him. Just such an underdog story, and it's gonna be an honor competing against him. Just you'll keep the boys rattled and not rattled and calm, and it's dangerous going against someone who has kind of been at the bottom because they'll never stop fighting, and that's how that team kind of operates behind him. So it's going to be awesome playing them. But yeah, tremendous obstacle ahead of us. Yeah, his might be a little bit crazier than mine though, because I don't know if I could, if I like a team told me to go to JUCO or something, I'd go back there. You know, it just kind of speaks to him how he is. He's willing to put the past behind him, come back, and just accomplish his dreams. So, but yeah, definitely a little bit of parallels. Definitely, he's had some dark days, been down in the dirt, and just like I said, an honor competing against him.
I don't mean, in terms of like other teams, a lot of teams you can follow, you really can't really look at, some major sport. I think the players, do you guys believe that this is all happening?
Yeah, yeah, again.
Like, what is the strategy that you guys use for something like this happening?
Well, I mean, there's thousands of people play college football, hundreds of teams. So being one of the final two teams is like, you got to pinch yourself. You're like, all right, we're one of the final two teams, but we've been putting in work all year. We've been getting, told by Coach Kaz, all of our coaches, like keep winning, good things are going to happen. It's a big time program. This is a big time team. It's Texas football. So I'd say we beat Oklahoma the way we beat them, just getting that monkey off our back. A team we hadn't beaten in a while, a team that had a lot of hype, a team that had a lot of talent. We beat them pretty good, and then I think we started realizing that we could do some serious damage, and then just take it 1 week at a time, one game at a time. We weren't looking at the national championship week 4. We were looking at the next game, which was Kansas. So just going one game at a time, 1 week at a time, one day at a time, getting used to the film, getting used to the team scheme. That's how we kind of approach it, and that's how we're approaching this one. But yeah, now that we're here, like we can believe it.
But now that you're here, is this your lottery? Is this your you won the lottery?
Yeah, you can definitely say I won the lottery. Yeah, yeah. All the transfer guys, all the guys who are here, had a couple rough years, and we've just been blessed. Having a new strength staff come in and just completely bring everyone's confidence up, get people back to where they were when they were in high school, finding the love for the game, finding their confidence, going out there with swag, all that stuff with the new coaching staff. So, just been awesome. 57.
Johnny, that's amazing, man. You guys dealt consistently awesome. This is the biggest option for the national championship. You all of college football.
I think I was touching on it earlier. Just take it one day at a time. Watch a little bit of film at night before you go to bed. Get 30 minutes, an hour in. Watch yourself in practice. Get used to the game plan. Get used to how their team likes to operate, how they fire off the ball. Find yourself and visualize yourself making plays. Think of your celebrations. So when you make a big play, you can like not look stupid on TV. Just take it one day at a time, really, and then just treat it like another game. Like there's going to be distractions. A lot of famous people are going to be there. It's awesome. Like it's what you dream of. But just taking it one game at a time. Then when you're playing the game, stay calm. Just bring it every play. Play with an unmatched effort and have an attitude like you belong. And just one day at a time.
Johnny, we know about Bob's ability to improve your guys' physical ability, but it sounds like he's really instilled some belief in you guys as well. How is he? How's the staff done?
Yeah, I mean, every team lifts, every team runs, every team does speed work. His biggest thing is just his mental side of things, and I'm a huge mental guy, huge mental proponent going into games and stuff like that. So when he came and he was talking about sports psychology, I was just drooling. Like the stuff he was telling us. Just today, we're doing deep breathing stuff, and he's telling us all about what to expect, blah blah blah, and he has these chapters he's been talking to us all since he came here, all these different sports stuff, and it's just really people bought into it, and you feel like a different person when you're in a big moment. You don't feel like it's a big moment, even though it is. Oh, I was just so proud of him. Finally, just putting a complete game together, playing every snap, being where he was almost the whole time, just making plays, being willing to kind of get out of position because he knew he could make a play. It's awesome seeing your friend and seeing your teammate do so well. So, I mean, he just treated it like another game. He had a little bit more time to get ready. The Big 12 game stung for him, the championship. So he definitely wanted to redeem himself and the team. And he's the leader of our defense. He's the captain, one of them. So just watching him ball out, I mean, so proud of him, so happy for him, and it was just awesome to see. He had a good look in his eyes going into the game. He had a good look today at workout, so we're going to bring it again next week.
Two more questions. High school, Johnny. Do you know he was a high school receiver before he was a receiver?
Yes, he told me a lot because
Believe him a little bit more than me?
yes, yeah.
Anything else for Johnny?
I mean, the thing is psychological. It sounds simple. How important is the fact that you guys have that belief is when not only this mission but now before?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry, I was daydreaming.
Psychological perspective, like when teams play Georgia, Alabama, etc.
Mhm.
That way, that opposite. How important is that to you guys?
I mean, I think it just adds a chip. You know, you're playing a blue blood, and the media likes the blue bloods. They want the blue bloods to win. They want the blue bloods to play each other. The school's bigger fan bases, all that stuff. So that's what they want. But for us, like, just an opportunity to, put yourself on the map, earn some money, put some respect on your family name, that sort of thing. So it's just a tremendous opportunity, and we're blessed to be in this position playing such a gifted, historic, strong program and the defending national champs.
Thanks, Johnny. Max Duggan next. We'll go straight to questions for Max. How you feeling?
I'm good. Getting over some bruises, some soreness, but a couple flush outs, yesterday, today, practice will help a little bit. Yeah, I guess I really haven't thought about it as like in terms of my last game. Like I understand it, but I guess it really hasn't sunk in yet. I think it's something that'll probably sink in after. You'll feel a little bit better if we win the game on Monday and get to go out that way. But I guess it's not something that I'm really kind of thinking about right now. Yeah, no, they do a lot of things well. Obviously, they have some of the most talented players in the country, and they're so well coached and have some of the best coaches in the country. So that creates a lot of problems when you have such good players and such a good coaching staff. But man, they can fly around. They're big. They're powerful. They got speed and all aspects of their defense. Whether it's their front four, their backers, being able to go sideline to sideline, safeties, DBs, being able to move, play 1-on-1, get to different parts of the field quickly after pre-snap, things of that sort. So there's going to be a lot of challenges, for us on Monday. I got to spend time with Stetson quite a bit. Coach Smart, I met for the first time that night and got to talk to him for a little bit, and we just had a short conversation. He was when I talked to him, it was he talked about the Baylor game, about our field goal, and he said that was something that was really good coaching and things that they went on, and I think practice that next week. So something that he told us that he saw from watch up. So I think that was pretty cool. Yeah, Mari, he's such a good dude. I mean, I love, I've been with him for the last 4 years here. He's been here a while, and I've got to, grow with him and be a part and, our friendship and our relationship. But, obviously we know what he is on the field. He's such a, great player. He's a stud. He doesn't ever complain about touches or things of that sort. When he gets his opportunity, he goes in there and he helps us. And I think you saw that, against Michigan. But, I mean, the kid's a great leader. He's so smart. He's a humble kid. He helps a lot of the young guys, helps guys around us just, be better people, helps our program. And, he's a big reason why we're in this spot.
It's a long way from Big 12 media days where TCU was picked 7th. How'd you get here?
I think just not listening to anything outside of our walls. Whether that was at Big 12 media days in preseason, people picking us 7th, it didn't really bother us. Any opinions outside of these walls and outside of our programs, we didn't listen to, whether it's good stuff, whether it's bad stuff. We see ourselves, how we see ourselves, and that's all that matters. Yeah, we have stuff to clean up. I mean, we didn't play well against Michigan. We made enough plays to win the game, but it wasn't like we played spectacular, one of our best games. I don't know if it was rust or anything like that. I just think it was one of those days where you didn't have your best stuff, but in games like that, you don't have to have your best stuff sometimes. You just, be able to compete and rely on guys. And when you need to make a big play, our guys were able to do that. And, that helped us win that game. Yeah, I think it helped a ton with him just kind of getting his fresh legs back, kind of resetting his body and his mind to be able to go out and play free. And obviously, when he's playing at his level, and 100%, he's a pretty big difference maker, as you can see. Like, one play can really change the game, and he did that multiple times against Michigan. So having him at 100% really helps us, and he's just kind of a different cat than a lot of guys are on the field.
Matt, what are some of the lessons that you carried from the Big 12 championship year into the playoffs?
I think just continuing to believe, and it's something hard to do after a loss, is to keep believing in yourself and the team. A lot of people, feel like they hit rock bottom when you lose something like that, when you have a loss like that, especially the first loss of your season. But I think continuing to stay, with your roots, the things that got us to this point, were something that I kind of learned and we took as a team with us. And I think you learn more about yourself after a loss than you do as a win. Kind of look yourself in the mirror a little bit more. But I think that's kind of something, is that we continued to believe in each other and in this program and our coaching staff. That one game wasn't really going to define us and have a lingering impact on us for the rest of the year.
There's also the big picture perspective of what TCU went through after the Southwest Conference, all the conferences, the 2010 championship. Have you even thought about the big perspective of everything? Or do you just still focus in on each other?
Yeah, we're focused in on what we're doing, but we understand, there's been so many great teams and that have built this program up to get to where we are. I've had guys from, past teams that have been hitting me up and congratulating me, and they're rooting for us because, whether it was teams back, in the Southwest Conference, teams, with Andy, the 2014 team. Obviously, there's so many other great teams that got us to this point, and we're trying to do it for those guys. The guys that put the jersey on before us, because this program and this university wouldn't be what we are without those guys. We wouldn't be able to have an opportunity to win a national championship without all the hard work and sacrifice that those guys made. So we're just trying to make those guys proud and give them something to root for.
Was there anybody that really kind of was surprising or someone that reached out to you? Because I know that Coach Dykes said Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, I had some guys. I was like, Andy's been, staying in contact with me. I think that's kind of a huge thing. A bunch of other guys from the 14 team, Kyle Hicks, Trayvon, guys like that. Some older guys that played back in the day, 2000s, kind of the back then. But it's just been a lot of fun to hear some support from those guys that they're watching. They want this, just like they were when they were playing. I have some guys that have some connections that have played there. I have some guys that have played in the playoffs. I know some guys that have played in the Super Bowl. I even had some help, going into the last game about kind of the difference between, a regular season game, even a league championship game, and then going into like a playoff game, a national championship, because there's so many different distractions, whether it is with SoFi, celebrities being there, marketing teams, all the kind of the corporation like based event, things of that sort. So there's just a lot kind of going on, and to kind of not think about that and just, be focused in on the game is where we're at. And I think Coach Dykes, Coach Cause are doing a great job of implementing that mindset into us right now and this week. So.
How have you grown as a leader? How have you grown as a leader this year? How do you think this collective experience helps you lead this team in this game?
Yeah, I think I've grown a lot in an aspect of being a leader. Obviously, you always want to be a vocal leader, things of that sort. And I know a lot of people say lead by example, but I think there's always something more than that. I think everybody, leads by example. But I think some of that I kind of took over this year of kind of changing my narrative of being a leader, of not, caring more about others than really yourself. Making sure that other people are in the right spot and are being successful rather than myself. Kind of taking it to the chin more than putting on other people. And I think that's something where I've grown in my aspect of being a leader, and our team has as well, of being those guys that think about others and think about the team and think about this program rather than yourself. And it's helped us get to this point. No, he's incredible. I don't think people really realize, what he does for us and how valuable he is. Obviously, you think of a strength and conditioning coach, you're like, okay, weight room, running, things of that sort in the off season. But his sports psychology talks with us leading up to every single game throughout the week of, like I said, how do we see ourselves? And he does so much stuff to create a different mindset, to think outside the box, to put a different meaning into our program and into ourselves. And he's so invaluable, or he's so valuable, like where we couldn't imagine, being here without him. So
Max, if you win this game, your name is right up there. Same ball. What does that mean?
yeah, if you ever get, mentioned with the greats like that, it means a lot. There's been so many guys here that, have built this program. But like I said, they're on the Mount Rushmore. You get guys like Sammy Baugh, David O'Brien, Andy, Trayvon, LT, Bob Lilly. Like, there's so many more guys that have built this program up. So when you get, the opportunity to be in, the likes of those guys, it's pretty special.
Max, because of the circumstances behind the scenes of it started, I think it was just prevailing thought that you guys don't have to win Monday night to win the season. You feel that way? You've already won in some way?
I mean, we want to win that game. Yeah, don't get us wrong. We're not going in there thinking, we don't want to. I know a lot of people are having that discussion of, reflection wise of, you have a great season, but I think the biggest thing is like you want to win that last game of the year. Doesn't matter what it is. That's our goal right now, and that's something that we want. And I think we'd be pretty disappointed, if we weren't able to. So that's our goal right now, and that's what we're planning on doing. So.
Max, during the past, one of your biggest defenders here, and I spoke to you after the second game. Have you spoken to him at all about what you guys did for the championship and being able to play for them?
Yeah, no, Coach Patterson has done, he stayed in contact with me. And we've talked throughout the season. He has a lot of support and, all of these guys and our program, and he's been watching from afar and rooting for us. So, it's been fun to see him continuing to support us, continue to stay in contact with a lot of guys that, he recruited and spent a lot of time with here.
Anything else for Max? Max, have you allowed yourself to envision being that?
Yeah, I think you visualize that of your plan of what we need to do to win that game. I think that's kind of the way that I'm taking it, in visualization, not more of holding up the trophy at the end, but understanding our plan to get to that point where you get to hold that trophy up at the end of the day. I think that's kind of our mindset right now, where we're at.
So how long did you allow yourself after winning the basketball to enjoy that moment before, like you said, turning the next one time and play one more?
Probably 24 hours, or probably about 24 hours. Probably when we got back into Fort Worth, when we got back in, it was kind of a reset where we kind of, forgot about it, where, that game really doesn't mean anything, anymore. It was a good win. It was a lot of fun, meant a lot to a lot of people. And, we were happy to get that win, but, right now in the grand scheme of things, that game doesn't mean anything. I know Georgia doesn't care about that game whatsoever. Yeah, I know. I need one. Maybe I'll have my roommate cut it, Dom. Maybe he can give me a cut after the game. Appreciate y'all.
Don't forget, guys.